Insurance companies are not yet integration ready. Probably 80% of them are not ready. Usually they just have their own internal systems scattered around. I'm Olivia Escartin. I'm a designer by profession, an artist at heart. I'm an ethical design thinking, meaning the business and solutions that we build is always about solving particular problems. Oseas is a technology AI-enabled platform that is meant to augment the process between the insurance companies, insurance agencies and brokerage and their customers. That makes smarter matching of products.
These are our pain points. We need to find technology that could solve these problems.
Their pain points are usually they have to juggle around 3 to 4 different platforms. One is their billing system. Then the number 2 is the CRM component.
Majority of Filipinos sees insurance as literally a premium.
Imagine if everyone can be interconnected. Now they can serve more Filipinos, right? And if they can serve more Filipinos, our insurance products will be cheaper.
I'm looking at this. It says Founder Institute Philippines. What is this? Tell us about this.
Well, Founders Institute Philippines is close to my heart. There's actually a background to it. It's a startup program backed by Silicon Valley. So across different parts of the world, there are Founder Institute offices. So I just graduated last December from Founders Institute Philippines. So it was a grueling accelerator program, but it's a no BS kind of system. They don't babysit you, they don't baby talk you, because at the end of the cohort, the real goal is to establish a sound and sustainable, scalable business. And each of us, we have different tracks. Some are just ideas, some are already validation. I took the track of traction because I already have existing clients. So yeah, I'm proud and happy to it. And the reason I said it's close to my heart, I saw it 2013, 2014. And it's just now that I really took the leap and I love the mentors. They've been very intentional. Like weekly, you pitch. Yeah, so that's why I brought the cup, thankful, so happy with it. I use it because it was raining outside.
So what was part of your pitch when you joined Founder Institute? Were you promoting your business? Were you bringing in your business for funding? What was the whole process about this?
They have a screening of an entrepreneurial DNA. So there are 4 types of people that they actually took in. So I believe if my numbers were right, from 70 applicants, they just took in around 20 and only 9 or 8 of us graduated, something like that. So I pitched for Oseas, our insurance tech startup. The reason behind it is I really wanted to get the guidance and a no BS, unfiltered mentorship, no? And because I would say all of their mentors and pool of I couldn't say really consultants, but the pool of mentors inside are not just from the Philippines. You have access globally. Like you want to book a office hour, we call it office hours. It's a mentorship call. You get to calls from someone from the US or any industry. You pick and choose as long as that they're available. And that's what I needed. I needed our company to have the best experience, and I needed another fresh perspective. And I said, wait, and also, they understood what we were doing. That's the key. There are many programs around, but so far when I spoke to them, they understood and they said, yeah, you just take the DNA test and see if you are able to get in. So I was so happy when I got the result.
So congratulations, because it seems that you graduated on that. And
yes.
Maybe can you tell us more about Oseas?
Sure.
What is it all about? And you mentioned the term insurance. So enlighten us about what your startup is all about.
To give you the backstory behind Oseas, so we co-founded that, me and my sister. Both of us are passionate about insurance. However, we have two different types of journeys that we encountered. My journey personally was when I was working on the ship, we had a near accident. We almost sank. we were tilted, and I seldom talk about it, but I said that was the first moment that I realized, if you don't have, the cell phones were not really much of a use before. That was early 2000s. You have that split second of praying to God and saying, Lord, I don't know if I'm gonna see my family, but tell them I love them. Really, that's the only thing that you could do. And because for crew members, you're not placed in a section of the ship that you can easily go out. It's meant for passengers. So I was working in an office. It's all steel, so I have to go upstairs anyway. So that was my close experience with insurance. I hear a lot about insurance when I was on OFW. They count their fingers. That's the cost. That's how much they're gonna take. On the Philippine side, me and my sister was also into insurance. No, we're both life insurance advisors. We took those exams. Our closest story for that is during our trade show events. Now we do events management, and my sister is really very good in that, tourism related. They would sell thousands of tickets of airlines, right? Like 2-3 days, thousands of tickets. But the travel insurance documents are piling up. It would take them 1 or 2 weeks to process, but the tickets are already sold. So we saw that as an opportunity to solve. That's how it started. The Oseas name, though, is we borrowed from our dad. That's actually our father's name, because we found out that the meaning of his name is salvation. It's actually a Hebrew word, and yeah, I just realized his name was biblical also. So Oseas means salvation, and we were running out of names also to use with the letter O. Yeah. So we decided, okay, we go with Oseas. It sounds nice, it sounds unique, and it's close to our heart. But of course, when we pitch, we focus on the purpose, not that about whose name was that. Yeah. So
but it's an awesome name.
Thank you.
Not only that it means great, but it's, like you said, it's unique.
Yes.
I think this is the first time I heard of a name, Oseas.
Yeah.
And it's your father's name. What a great name.
Yes.
Let's rewind back to insurance. Is your startup mainly focused on travel insurance, or is this more of or is it together a combination with life insurance? Give us a little more context about what insurance policies you guys provide.
First of all, Oseas does not sell insurance products. We are a tech platform. In the Philippines, legally, we cannot call it as an Insurtech, but abroad it's called Insurtech. So Oseas is a technology, AI-enabled platform that is meant to augment the process between the insurance companies, insurance agencies, and brokerage and their customers. So it's an all-in-one platform that makes smarter matching of products with their clients, so that what would take for 7 days of quotation process, no back-to-back, it could probably take under just 5 minutes. So that's what we do. To others, we kind of like say it also that it may seem like a combination of a CRM and ERP, so they're able to manage their customers, their internal process, their business process, while staying compliant with the Insurance Commission and BIR.
So in your platform, is this where, as a consumer, as a customer, potential customer, is it a platform where I could visit, for example, on a website or an app, and then I could give my details, and your technology spits out what's the best match for me as an individual? Is that how it works?
Okay. So our platform, basically it's B2B. It will allow our existing customers as the insurance companies and brokerages to have that kind of experience for their customers. So for example, let's make an example of an insurance agency insurance agency A, B, and C. So Oseas can provide any technology for insurance A, B, and C. Mm-hmm. Why? Because insurance agency A may be specializing in HMOs, mm-hmm. but they don't want to deal with the other life insurance products. It's okay. They can still use our platform. Insurance agency B may be into car insurance. They're all about TTPL, because they have a lot of LTO placements in all that area. We can still serve them. So our platform is very flexible. We can serve any insurance-related businesses. So for example, if insurance agency C is all about the health insurance mixture, we can still serve them. So in our platform, any products that they have, we can onboard it there. So yeah, that experience for the customers, we can enable that if they use our system.
I see. So it's sort of making the whole process more efficient so that they could serve their customers in a faster manner.
Yes, so it's an end-to-end business process and customer relationship experience.
And is it usually the first ongoing process when, let's say, a bunch of clients or customers sign up for insurance? Is that the only process that prolongs?
You know, the fun part is they usually come to us because they've tried 3 or 4 different platforms already. Sometimes they even have tried to do it in-house first, you know. But what usually happens, the process goes with, they first want to migrate their old client profile, their archives, their existing portfolio. And then comes in the new leads or the new customers. So that's what usually happens in the B2B. They just want to make sure their existing information is intact. How do we migrate it to the new system? And then serving the new clients.
For other insurance companies out there that want to avail your technology, can you tell us what is usually the pain points, or give me like a bunch of pain points for insurance companies that say, okay, these are our pain points. We need to find technology that could solve these problems. What are usually those pain points?
Their pain points are usually they have to juggle around 3 to 4 different platforms to operate their whole business. One is their billing system. They sometimes have to subscribe to some expensive platforms and then train their people again to use another system just to reconcile their other billing. That's one. Then the number 2 is the CRM component. Usually they have to, for example, the common misconception is, what if I just use HubSpot, right? But those tools are meant for marketers. So that's a pain point. When it comes to compliance, like how do you make it compliant that you're not using an external system, but you're going to exchange personal information? So at least they're all under one roof. It's safe, and then second, it saves time for the operations apart from the customer. Example, the common pain point is you need to go to them to make your payment, right? I mean, I think 80% of the transactions, we still go to the office or exchange papers. With the platforms, it reduces that friction. It will make them automatically receive their reminders of the policy, say it's about to expire. Yeah. So the benefit there is also it lessens the probability of penalties. You know, they get penalized just because they lack to remind their customers.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of legwork that people don't really see behind. They thought that insurance companies or insurance agencies is all about commission. No, that commission is meant for service. That's not meant to be like because they're really doing a lot. They will give you recommendations. Now the new part, AI, the AI component is basically we have launching some modules wherein there's going to be smart matching, meaning when you input your car details, eventually it will be easier what matches your profile, what kind of product can be recommended to you. Yeah. So
you have a portal for the customers.
yes, which is very rare for insurance platforms. Most of those platforms are foreign, but in the Philippines, I would say we might be the first. I really think so. We might be the first doing that. It's end-to-end. All of them that has that solution are all foreign technology from Singapore, from US, from the first world.
From the first
world.
I'm very familiar with how GCash has different, different modules in their app. And that one other module that they have is where they sell insurance. Like their number one, I think, when it comes to selling that component is, I believe, what they're always promoting is Sing Life as a life insurance. Like right now, it just popped up, Sing Life.
Yeah.
They're listening.
Yes.
They're listening.
Yeah.
So is this sort of similar to what you guys are doing? Because like I could go here in GCash, they call it G Insure, and then they kind of offer me like different what do you call this, policies with Sing Life. They have Malay insurance. So this is more of
different products.
The customer side.
Yes.
But you guys are like in the back end.
We're the engine.
You guys are the engine
Yes,
managing all of this.
Yeah, so if you look at a car, we're the engine. You can change the hood, you can have different stuff, but we're the engine inside that it's going to be flexible or possible for them to run those things. In the case of GCash, since you brought it up, it's just a marketing platform.
Yeah.
Most of the time, especially in the early years of the insurance platforms, there's no direct integration. In fact, probably 90% of what you're seeing in the marketplace does not have a direct integration with the internal process or system of the insurance companies. So technically, that's an added legwork for them.
But what's kind of
Yes.
surprising about here is I tap to any of these, and since I'm already verified as a GCash user, they could just use my existing, well, this is on the customer side. They
Yes,
could just
yes.
use my existing information, no need to verify, no agents, no nothing, and simply just get one policy, and voila.
Yes.
I'm already insured with a certain amount, like
Yes.
$1 million after, like this one.
Yeah.
Actually, they have the
For a
matching
month.
thing.
For 1 month.
For a month,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
depends, right?
So, I'm going to give you two sides of the coin, if I may. This is fun, So, first is we're very happy GCash has that component. Shout out to GCash. We love you. Oseas can also allow the insurance companies or agencies to connect to GCash, G-Insure.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
so we can be the integration partner also for that. That directly connects to their system.
Nice.
Because most of the time, the ones that connected them are usually marketing platforms.
True enough.
Yeah. And if I may say, the two sides of the coin, so that's the one side that I shared, that it's more of the business process. On the other side, if you look at the numbers that they gave you, it makes you spend 80 pesos, right? For a 1 month worth of coverage. In reality, talo ka dun eh.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
That's why it's more sound to make insurance decisions in a long-term manner when it comes to life. Because usually, the pain point of the Philippine industry in the insurance, we don't read the fine prints.
We never do.
Exactly. They look at the premium and the general coverage,
Yeah.
but does it is it going to be helpful? You paid today, but next month you didn't, so you lose it, right? So it's still different. If you look at the long term in the numbers, it doesn't really make sense. That's how some insurance products are designed, especially when it comes to the mandatory or the smaller ones, no. And unfortunately, in the case of the Philippines, we seldom read the fine print. Like for example, in the car insurance, right? There are certain policies that say that if at the event that the driver is not the assigned driver or not, it's not someone that is in the policy, actually you're not covered. But people randomly just lend their cars to someone, right? And they will cry, oh, there's insurance, you know. So, may iba, pinapa-media pa, di ba? But the media cannot do anything because there's a fine print.
So in this fine print, is it always the case, let's say if we get the regular, what do you call that?
So the thing is, GCash is nice that they're promoting insurance, but what's lacking is, did you get to ask what your perks are? Did you have someone to talk to on a personal level of telling you what that is? No, it's just, you just have this perception na, lahat to covered. But the question is, wait, you know, I mean, just an example, sometimes when you get an insurance policy, if you haven't, like if you get a quotation, you're still going to pay for it. Not all insurance companies have the same timeline na you're about to pay, are you already covered? Or maybe the next day, or did you pay na? So there are things that it depends on the fine print of the quotation. So it's nice that you have someone to talk to. So hopefully, it would be better if before you make a purchase, they should have been, would you like to ask more details? Do you have any FAQs? There should have been some FAQs inside before the purchase.
In terms of insurance, because as a customer, one of the pain points of getting insurance, especially in life, especially on the ones with the bigger coverage, one of my major pain point is the whole process.
Yeah.
Maybe for the majority, let me know your thoughts about this. For the majority of Filipinos who sees insurance as literally a premium to purchase, because for someone like me, let's say I would pay for, let's say, 100,000 a month for a certain coverage. Most Filipinos can't afford that. But something like this, something like 300 a month or 80 pesos a day, it's something that it's like a no-brainer for them. Okay, I could afford this, because most Filipinos can't afford like the bigger coverage. And then my pain point for that is the whole process. Let's say when I got my insurance a few years back, there was a lot of paperwork, a lot of signing, a lot of I mean, that whole process is really,
it's very legal.
It's as if I'm filing, it's as if I'm going to court.
Yes,
just
exactly.
with all the signing and the questions, the health related, if you're a smoker, if you're at a high risk. I mean, this one, the only reason, like for someone especially like me, I would just go in there, purchase it, no questions asked. Now, what are your thoughts about this kind of process? Is it, because like you said, lugi tayo sa 80 pesos per day or 80 pesos per month? Pero what are the workarounds? Because if this is not good for us, but we can't afford the better ones, what's the middle part?
Okay, just to be clear on lugi tayo dun sa 80 pesos, because my answer would be related to an overall, what has happened in a 10-year span of the insurance tech business. Because my fear in some products is, today you see them, tomorrow you don't. So that's the thing. There have been a lot of experimental products in the insurance industry for the past decade, and we've seen them come and go, come and go, and come and go. And that is why Oseas did not prioritize to come up with a product that's highly customized to us, because that's what happened with the travel insurance. Our first platform was supposed to be a travel insurance platform for travel agencies. It was supposed to be a sweet spot, right? Thousands of agencies. Also imagine mo, thousands of agencies are going to use the portal. Every day they're going to book. And then pandemic happened. And we realized, oh, that is not good. We were too dependent on a particular product. Now, some insurance technology platform from abroad are okay. Like, for example, the ones that are from Singapore, from Canada, it's okay because they grew up from a different country. They're able to sustain that technology and pipeline. But here, we're hyper-localized, meaning we were solving a very localized problem. That our vision is, through Oseas, we're not here to say they don't need anything else. No, we can be used however they want to be their middleware, their core, or what they need, so that they can be integrated to GCash. They want to be integrated with, for example, one of their common pain points, they have leads from social media. How are they going to manage that? So we can have some sort of recommendation of a better workflow, or some kind of like a middle integration, or maybe something else that's going to be helpful for them to manage their marketing. So it's not just about finance, operations. It can also be used by the marketing department. So what happens is usually Oseas is being used by almost all departments. That's basically a picturesque point of view of how Oseas is beneficial to the insurance.
So you would categorize your business as insurance tech or Insurtech? How does that work?
Yeah.
And is can we describe it as like ERP system for the insurance?
We would say we're an insurance, AI-enabled insurance technology platform. And we just use the word technology in a whole so that we're not confused with Insurtech locally. Because I believe there's some compliance to that. It is also due to the fault of, in the Philippines, when there's something new, people just build without really putting some compliance to it. Unfortunately, due to that matter, Insurance Commission had to put up some regulations. It became tighter. Like, for example, in the early years, there were so many things that would allow you to make some comparison of insurance products. They don't like that because it's not really true.
Are we talking about the commissions or the companies?
To be clear, is when you see a comparative platform of insurance products, I would say 90%, I'm sure it's not true. It's going to give you a wrong perception that what you're seeing is an actual numbers. Even if they put a disclaimer, this is only indicative, but people don't really read that, right? At the end of the day, you're still going to get a quotation, right? So they just took your marketing data. You're a lead. You're the product. And because of that, Insurance Commission became more rigid, or they put up some regulations on that. That's why we veered away from comparative. So we do marketplace. And so it's always about the insurance company or the agency per se. So whenever you see a comparative site, it's a marketing site. It's not an insurance site.
But it's still perfectly legal because that's what GCash is doing with G-Insure.
With G-Insure, okay, the difference with G-Insure, if you've seen that to comply with regulations, they give you a different module, so there's a different experience. So you are not comparing it per product. What I mean is, you didn't input data and make comparative rates.
So they're just offering whatever
is available. So that is off the shelf. We call it off the shelf. That's normal. That's super legal. We can have that facility also for an insurance agency. Example, if you own an insurance agency and you say, Olive, we can carry Malayan, Stronghold, and other, I think they already merged with Mercantile. We carry 7 non-life products. I want my insurance agency to have something like GCash. It's okay because legally you're an insurance agency. So your website can have that off-the-shelf thing, or lead form. Oseas has that for you.
Makes a lot of sense.
Our goal is to make it affordable and economical for insurance-related businesses to afford systems, because usually it's so expensive to have a system.
And Your
It's subscription based. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not developmental kind of traditional development.
so the system exists already.
Yes, it's a software as a service, SaaS.
Okay, it's a SaaS. Okay, that's a business model then. And I'm sure there's different tiers depending if they want the whole ERP system or just
They usually have the whole because they cannot operate without one department from another. That's why we had to really build it first before going to the market. Unlike other startups, they test it. Like, I create this module, test the market. No, you cannot do that. We really had to start from an end-to-end that's existing, and then we just customize a few of their workflows per like module. Like maybe their accounting want to have a different process because they have a little bit of they have to go to another step. There's a little bit of customization, but all in all, they have a core system.
so what you're offering is the whole ecosystem.
Yep. End-to-end 360.
Which is pretty good because it's hard to have different systems and
Yeah.
that are not integratable.
Yeah, and then they don't have to count how many users. Kasi the tendency for the software when software is put like you can only use how many users, the tendency is not to comply. The tendency is to, can we just share email? So there's also a behavior to it, and we don't want that. We want to promote. So our goal is we're looking at the very bigger picture for Oseas. The problem in the Philippines is that only 2% are self-insured, meaning we have the initiative to insure ourselves, products. 98% in there. So that's scary. Like, if you look at the cars out there, probably 70% doesn't have insurance. Only the CTPL, the mandatory, because it's part of the LTO. So anything that happens, we have to wait for the police. Yeah. But if we have that technology and everyone has already a seamless experience, that will be reduced. Now, if something happens, maybe their dashcam has captured that, and we can have it uploaded to the system, and then their claims will be faster. So making it more affordable makes the companies adapt faster also. And that pain point, of course, the customers don't see that. They thought it's all about, they're just being ripped off. But no, the insurance are doing a lot of jobs.
When we talk about insurance companies, aren't there just a few? Because how much you need to put up an insurance company? Like, in terms of, I think you need 1 billion pesos?
Yeah, actually, right now there used to be a lot of insurance companies, but in the past 5 years, they've greatly reduced. They started having some merger and acquisitions. So I think there's a new data from the Insurance Commission that you need at least 3 billion
Pesos.
capitalization. Yeah.
Pesos or dollars?
Pesos.
Pesos,
Yeah,
okay.
so there's a percentage to it that you have to have an actual cash. So, and that is tough for the insurance companies. They always have to have that. So there are probably just around 60 plus insurance companies, but they're life, non-life. Then there's also HMO. And then also their majority in the life insurance are foreign, but the local ones are usually dominated by the local insurance companies. And if you look at the demographics, majority of the local insurance companies also have banks. So you're seeing some relationship with, is really fintech. Outside world, we're called as fintech. Not really always about insurance. It's fintech. It's financial.
I have a question that's a little out of context, but probably related. Have you guys ever thought of introducing this to PhilHealth?
No, but we are familiar with the PhilHealth. But
Aren't we all?
we're familiar,
Aren't we all?
yes, we're familiar with PhilHealth. Just to give a background also. So our first tech startup encounter was with people who were actually very, very, very motivated in the electronic medical records. And early years, we saw that usually if it's going to be related to DOH and PhilHealth, it's like hitting a wall. And that's not good for business. At least with insurance, you're dealing with the private. But once you put your eggs to be dependent on the government. It should be complementary, but to be dependent, it's going to be tough. But we are familiar with the PhilHealth. It's always a wish of people that they, at first, they thought our insurance mantra was all about universal healthcare. Said, no, we're just enabling insurance companies to do whatever they want. We solve their tech problem. But the bigger picture there is, imagine if everyone can be interconnected. Now they can serve more Filipinos, right?
True.
And if they can serve more Filipinos, our insurance products will be cheaper. That's why it's expensive, because we have a limited pool of number of people. But if our number or our data is as big as PhilHealth, then our insurance products would be cheaper.
Isn't the pain point, especially this is always a complaint for hospitals who is, I believe majority of hospitals accommodate PhilHealth. Majority, I believe.
Yeah.
And wasn't their pain point, which is always that PhilHealth is not paying them on time.
Exactly.
And all the delays. Don't they need your system to actually solve that pain point?
The problem is not the tech. In reality, the problem is the people.
I see.
So, for example, just to be clear, what do I mean by that? And I learned this along the way. It wasn't clear also when we were just starting. So, in our case, our type of customers are the ones who are ready to change. If the organization is not ready to change or adapt, then they're not also the right fit. And it's the same with the government. Like, for example, in the eGov, right, when the ICT was ready, they were the ones pushing the envelope. We're ready. Anyone who would like to use us, we're open doors, We even have a little bit, just to give some background, we have other ventures also. We have a mental screening app. We have that kind of thing that we work with doctors. And we hear a lot also related to PhilHealth. So, but we're solving the problems that we can solve within our control. But all of them are actually related to insurance, and then we've got health. And the workplace has been a common issue, that it seems that there's a higher prevalence on the, mental situation. And recently we had a lot of news, even students, right, not being able to cope. And that's also not good for insurance, because insurance doesn't like too much risk, right? You cannot have a suicide insurance. I mean, that's like saying...
They don't cover it, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they see any signs that since you mentioned, they have a coverage wherein they don't automatically award the benefit if there's some doubt that probably they call it suicide clause, right?
Yeah.
And that's why this is an internal discussion. That's why some of our peers also doesn't like that GCash is promoting that. Because if you have been telling your husband and wife that, hey, I actually have a 80 peso insurance, like what happened to me today, I have 79,000, then probably someone... Because that really happens, eh. And we can't really blame... that's why this is where the bigger vision of Oseas wanted to come in, not just a platform that develop, not just a technology, but eventually want to be in a place wherein we can be part of building awareness, the behavior change, the re-education about insurance. Because if we act less risky, right? If we act more careful, more nuanced, then it will be a safer place. And I don't have that data or statistics, but maybe you can see some correlation between people who have insurance are actually more careful rather than the ones who doesn't have, right? They're more reckless. But we need that data. I don't have that data. But there's somehow kind of like a relation to that. And it's because at the end of the day, insurance naman, like for the life, it's protection. It's never about investment. Example with the HR, to the HR folks, the common issue is whenever they onboard employees, they would promote it as, oh, these are your benefits, ah. No, those are not benefits. Those are protection. That if in case they need something. But they're not meant to be utilized. Or else, the company is going to pay much more because it's meant for protection. It's like a paluwagan. It's a legal paluwagan. That's what insurance is. So that you don't have to spend for it that much, right?
And I think people get the misconception. There's a misconception about insurance because a lot of these so-called financial advisors, sell it as an investment. They don't sell it as protection. That's why there's a big misconception about what insurance is. Because somehow, maybe it's the training or maybe it's how they promote it. Because we should say there's a ton of financial so-called advisors out there would say, get insurance. It's an investment. They don't sell it as protection. And maybe it's because the Filipino people are not really convinced about how the whole scheme of the whole insurance world. Because if someone, for example, in terms of someone having an HMO, the whole process is just tedious.
Yeah. Okay? It's like parang they're saying, just don't get this anymore.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much, there's a lot of friction. There's a lot of friction all throughout the way. It's like, why should I invest in insurance? It's wrong. It's like, why can't someone who wants to buy insurance why sell it in a way where they have to invest in it?
Yeah, I prefer the insurance advisors that would usually instead come up or use actual stories. I prefer that kind of selling because it's all about use cases. Like for example, for health insurance, not the HMO, that there's another health insurance and the medical insurance, right?
Right.
So a lot of people cannot afford that. But once you can afford that, that became very much useful during the COVID pandemic. So the rich people actually got covered. Their 5 million bills were actually paid for by the medical insurance, but they just paid 80,000 a year. And that they saved more, right? So that is a better framing of what insurance is really meant for. Medicare and MaxiCare is really doing a great job, with the great experience of people, right? People are like, I wish my employer has MaxiCare. I wish my employer has this. So they're becoming more nuanced on about that. However, relating to what you were saying, it boils down to two things, but this one's probably gonna hurt. Education and family, the environment that we've been in. So that's why I really want and wish Philippines to be back in the game of being better in education. I think we've slipped down recently. I was surprised. I didn't review the stats, but they said we're no longer at the 90% educational rate. We slipped down, and that's bad. Because in reality, it relates to our workplace, our mindset. I think it's a mindset, and it goes back to insurance. And why am I saying about insurance? Even in tech, whenever there's like 10 Filipino people who learn about building systems, what's the first thing that they do? How many percent try to scam people, making fake platforms, right? There's always this tendencies. It's very high. Very even high in scamming, and I really don't like the experience that even your fellow Filipino, you're gonna scam your e-commerce platform, and that's why we have a hard time having our credit card facilities approved in the e-commerce system, because we have a higher scam rate, fraudulent rate. But we are also the BPOs, the people behind the investigation, right? They hire us to do investigations for fraud. So isn't it ironic? I work with BPOs also, and we get some departments are actually checking if it's a fraudulent check. So I don't know, with us Filipinos, we're very, very great talents, but we always have a mix of on the left and on the right.
We're so good at it. It starts even with our government. They've been scamming our people for such a long time.
Yeah.
You mentioned mindset.
Mm-hmm.
In the US, insurance is a very common thing.
Mm-hmm.
and they're very comfortable with the term insurance. In the Philippines, we're very allergic to the term insurance.
Yeah.
What was the two different mindsets that set us apart?
Government. They made it mandatory, so it became embedded in their culture. So, however, I don't have any direct experience with the American insurance. I've just seen a lot. In the US, that's why we say first world. Insurance is a first world thing, actually. All of their insurance products are digitally migrated because it's mandatory. And if you see the government push in the Philippines, you won't see insurance commission as part of the list of enhancement, right? Because it's hard to touch because they're majority family-owned businesses.
I see.
I mean, if you look at it, other agencies are easier to touch because it's bigger market, right? Like for example, cars, automotive, transport, logistics. But when it comes to insurance, these are just very fewer businesses. But they're very delicate because most of them are also in the banking sector. And if you touch insurance, you will be forced to comply with everything. So it's not about the companies in there, but it's about the mindset of the government. Because if you really want to be transparent, you would have to support the insurance industry also. For example, as an OFW, we have what we call, have you ever watched the local programs in the past that people would, that was very old, Ray Langit, right? People would call DZRH and they would say, I have my husband in the Middle East, and because it's hard to call and long distance satellite call is, they support people so they get a free call. And to us, what we know is OFWs require funds for repatriation, right? Our government spends with that. But not everyone knows that there's actually an OFW insurance, that not everyone is complying. Yeah.
Wow, tell us more about it.
This was established way back before, during the time of POA, Mr. Ople. I don't remember the full details of the years, but we were surprised because we were as insurance, we were researching on this. Then we found out, there's OFW insurance, and I was thinking about myself, like I was a seafarer. What insurance did I have?
You weren't aware.
Exactly.
Is it still? I mean, does our OFW insurance still exist to this time?
This is the fun part.
Okay.
If you came from a licensed agency, manpower agency, there's a mandatory OFW insurance. Probably we didn't see it because we're all about, do I have a plane ticket? Do I have the contract? And you don't look at the fine prints. So usually there is. When you came from the Philippines, it's compliance, it's mandatory.
Okay.
But the amazing part of the law is, in insurance, is that, for example, the first year I left, I went to Qatar, like probably Doha, right? Example, I went there, and I have an insurance policy as an OFW for 1 year. Okay. Because I was able to sign the papers in the Philippines. But at the second year that I'm going to be renewed, we don't have a law that allows a person outside Philippines to sign an insurance policy outside the Philippines. So the second year they're there, they don't have that coverage anymore. But there is supposed to be. Now what happens there is that the government spends a lot because they have to use repatriation funds, but it should have been covered from the beginning. So this is my personal point of view, also being an OFW, that hey, we have insurance pala eh. So why is the government always raising funds if only we were always covered from the beginning? But yeah, so that one I haven't really dug deep, but yeah.
It sounds to me it's like a loophole.
Diba, we have the OWA, they created a lot of departments for the OFW, and that's why, just like relating to what the Argentinian president did, right? There's too much government agencies. So, I think
It's true. It's true because
Yeah.
there's a task force for everything,
Yeah.
right? But that's interesting in OFW insurance.
Yeah.
Maybe majority. I mean, I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah. Like, for example, I saw a news a while ago, yesterday, that says OFWs, when they have a contract, when they arrive there, it shouldn't be changed or whatnot. They should have the existing contract availed there, right? But in my experience, it didn't happen because I worked with a different agency, not the best one. But when I arrived there, I was like, oh, this is not what I'm gonna get. There's another contract asked me to sign. And what can you do? Would you like to leave the ship and go home? You can't. You just have to sign a new contract. Oh, okay. I just had to accept it. It was a few, almost $1,000 less.
Ouch. Question.
Yeah.
Okay. When OFW insurance was given to you and you read the fine print, what was the coverage? I'm very curious.
That's the thing. I never saw one. I just knew when I was researching as when we were doing Oseas, we were researching about that because we thought there wasn't an insurance for OFWs.
I'm quite curious because
Yeah.
what if the coverage? I'm just hoping it's not minimum coverage. I'm hoping it's like
Usually it's okay. The intention of that insurance was the coverage related to the job. And the bigger part is the repatriation if they have to go home. The certain conditions I don't remember. But the highlight is you really cannot afford to go home, right? Usually you need to raise funds. But as long as you are within the contract of that employer, you will be able to go home. If the Filipinos knew that, they won't be jumping from one employer to another, right? Yeah.
It's a different topic on that.
Yeah, I mean, just an example. But yeah, it's education is very important. Or I'm not saying you have to be a graduate, but at least being able to, read and comprehend these things. So
Well, that's the problem. Even if we're well educated, we don't even read the fine print.
yeah, we seem to be just very good in pronouncing English, but recently we had that feedback that we saw that, right, the comprehension things. Like, yeah, I'm smiling.
Let's jump back to your technology.
Mm-hmm.
What's the future of Oseas?
The future of Oseas is that it will be a powerhouse of insurance engine, that it will have even actuaries to have actuarial engine in the future, because that's what's going to bring down the cost of insurance. That's what we don't have the data in the Philippines. We may have a few actuaries here, but it's not shared. It's usually highly proprietary. That's one. Then on the AI enhancement is that Oseas is going to have access to marketplaces in the future to allow our existing companies or any company's insurance that would like to tap into the ecosystem of e-wallets, because the market, a lot of Filipinos are unbankable. And on that part, our goal is we will see the numbers that at least 1% each year or 0.5% each year, we will see that increase through the help of our partners. So right now, we focus on the cars, on the motor vehicles, because it seems to be in the Philippines, we would insure cars more than the people. So yeah, that's our for this year. That's our goal. We will be having the end-to-end CTPL insurance, buying, matching, and filing claims to be easier, and even the renewal would be easier if you need through the help of our partners. Also, probably help with the services on registering their vehicles. In the following years, we will be focusing on our actuarial engines, So what do we mean by actual engine? Meaning we'll just have better data of being able to help our clients come up with products faster. So if people are wondering why it takes a long time for us to create an insurance products, it's actually that's what's lacking. It's not just a simple platform. So we have to build on that R&D. Oseas would probably the only Filipino premier insurance technology platform in the Philippines that serves everyone end to end.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Amazing company, and it's a first.
Yes.
It's a first that I've heard about here locally. So it's kind of amazing what you guys are doing, and because of you guys, hopefully we can envision like a better, like you said, insurance is a first world thing, right? So if you guys can improve our insurance situation here and make it easier for other insurance companies to jump into your tech and make it easier on them, remove their pain points, and hoping they could come up with better products that the people can afford.
Yeah. We're looking forward to that. In fact, we're very glad with our existing clients and partners that they have the same vision. And we're going, we have our goal and roadmap, but at the same time, we're also going with their flow, which is in line with our vision. So we're looking forward that eventually we'll be we're serving nationwide. The platforms that we have, usually they have branches across the Philippines. So we're looking forward that sooner or later, probably third quarter, some of our platform will be used also somewhere in some LGUs.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's B2B, but
hopefully B2G.
B2B to G.
B2B.
Yeah, we won't be directly connected to the government because the government is not selling insurance. But if they need any systems to connect to insurance companies, that will be
the magic word.
Yes.
Connect to
we
insurance.
can connect. And in fact, Oseas is not just building. We have a lot of communities and partners that are also looking for insurance products. So we're excited that eventually, for example, we have some partners that into cooperatives, they're looking for products, virtual assistants, right? There are many agencies. So they've been window shopping with different insurance products. But at the end of the day, it's always a learning experience. They might want one product today, tomorrow different. But with Oseas, at least we will eventually have insurance partners that were using our system, right? Using our system. Now, when they're ready, we can offer it to the agencies or virtual businesses that, hey guys, you can manage your insurance policy through our partners, but they're using our technology.
Nice,
so
nice.
It's more of that kind of service.
If there are people trying to come up with newer products, you guys are providing the tools.
Yes, we can help them with that. So that's what actually inspires our existing clients. Now they're inspired to come up with products and now they don't have to worry about the tech. They just have to focus on their business and everything that they want to connect here, connect there. Yeah, okay. We just have to define the timeline. Because a lot of insurance companies are not yet integration ready. Yeah, probably 80% of them are not ready. Usually they just have their own internal systems scattered around. But the readiness, maybe it will happen. That's why we were thankful about COVID in that manner. Of course, we are all affected by COVID. We were supposed to have the travel insurance portal. But because of COVID, the government had some policies that eventually allowed some insurance products to have some digital signature. They kind of like adapted some products. They can have some virtual meetings, and just have a Zoom screenshot and sign. They have that kind of adjustments. If not for COVID, the insurance companies will not be ready yet to adapt today.
Thank you for all the insights. One last thing. if I was an insurance company or a startup insurance company and would want to avail or sign up for your tech, how do we contact you?
They just have to email Olivia at oseas.tech, OSEAS.tech, or visit our website, send us a message there, and we'll be happy to walk them through and listen to what they need.
What's the website? Oseastech.
Oseas.tech.
.tech.
OSEAS.tech.
All right. We'll add that to your profile so it'll be easier for everyone to avail and to get in touch. Thank you for all the time, and thank you for all of the insights that you've shared. A lot of great insights, especially with the OFW insurance that we're not even aware about. But again, thank you, and hoping to get you back here again for more updates into Oseas and what's happening in the next months, next years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me too.